There is a silent thief that walks into your life dressed like a close friend. It does not take your money. It does not take your time. It steals something much more precious. It steals your reward in heaven. And the most chilling part is this: you hand it over willingly. You give it away with a smile, with a story, or with a single sentence spoken at the wrong moment. Today, I want to show you something that most believers across Canada have never been warned about, something Jesus spoke about directly, yet it is a message we rarely hear in our communities. We are going to talk about 7 hidden dangers of telling others about your good deeds. We will look at why the very thing you are proud of sharing may be the very thing erasing your blessing in the eyes of God. Before we begin, I want you to be honest with yourself as you listen to this, because some of these points are going to feel uncomfortable. Some of these will reveal a habit you did not even know you had. But discomfort is often the beginning of a true transformation. So stay with me until the end, because the 7th danger is the one almost no one sees coming. Let us start with what Jesus said, because everything we are about to discuss flows from one of the most overlooked warnings in all of Scripture. Matthew chapter 6, verse 1. Be careful not to practice your righteousness in front of others to be seen by them. If you do, you will have no reward from your Father in heaven. Read that again slowly in your heart. No reward. Not a smaller reward. Not a delayed reward. No reward at all. Jesus is telling us that it is entirely possible to do something genuinely kind and walk away with absolutely nothing to show for it in heaven. This happens simply because of who you told and why you told them. Danger number 1. You trade your heavenly reward for human applause. This is the foundation of everything we are discussing today, so I need you to understand it deeply. When you do a good deed in secret, that deed is stored up, and it is recorded, and it is waiting for you with your Father in heaven. But the moment you broadcast it, the moment you make sure the right people in your circle know what you did, you collect your payment early, and you collect it from the wrong source. Jesus said it with such clarity in Matthew chapter 6, verse 2. When you give to the needy, do not announce it with trumpets, as the hypocrites do in the synagogues and on the streets to be honored by others. Truly, I tell you, they have received their reward in full. Received their reward in full. That phrase in the original language was a business term. It meant a debt completely paid, a receipt stamped and closed. So, when you tell the world about your generosity and people clap for you, heaven looks at your account and writes, "Paid in full." There is nothing left to give you because you already took it. I remember knowing a man who gave generously to everyone, but he could never give without mentioning it later. Every act of kindness eventually became a story he told at dinner. I watched over the years as the joy drained out of his giving. He was always generous, but he was never at peace. Deep down, a person who gives to be seen is never sure if they are loved for who they are or applauded for what they do. Danger number 2. You poison a pure act with pride. Here is something most people never realize. A good deed and pride cannot live in the same house for long. The moment you tell someone what you did, something subtle happens inside you. You begin to relive it. You begin to enjoy the admiration of others. And slowly, the deed that started in love becomes a monument to yourself. Proverbs 16:18 warns us, "Pride goes before destruction, a haughty spirit before a fall." Notice that pride does not announce itself loudly. It creeps in quietly, often through the side door of doing something good. Some of the most prideful people you will ever meet are those who do genuinely good things, but they have learned to use their goodness as a mirror. They are constantly checking their own reflection in the reactions of those around them. And the tragedy is this: the deed may have been pure when you did it, but by the time you finish describing it for the 3rd time, it has become something else entirely. It is no longer about the person you helped. It is about the person telling the story. The danger number 3. You rob the person you helped of their dignity. This is one almost no one thinks about, and it is heartbreaking how common it is in our society. When you help someone and then tell others about it, you have not only damaged your own reward, you have wounded the very person you claim to love. Think about it. Someone came to you in a moment of need. They were vulnerable, and perhaps they were ashamed. They trusted you with their lowest moment, and then you took that sacred moment and turned it into a story to build your own image. Proverbs 17:9 says, Whoever would foster love covers over an offense, but whoever repeats the matter separates close friends. When you publicize your kindness towards someone, you expose their weakness to the world. You make them a character in your testimony of generosity. And the next time they are in need, they will not come to you. They have learned that your help comes with a price, and that price is their dignity displayed for everyone to see. True kindness protects the person. The false kindness exposes them to elevate yourself. If this message is already speaking to your heart, brother or sister, please subscribe to this channel and write in the comments, "Lord, purify my motives." Now let us continue, because the next 4 dangers are the ones the enemy uses most quietly of all. Danger number 4. You open a door for comparison and division. The moment you announce your good deeds, you are no longer simply doing good. You are setting a standard, and you are inviting everyone around you to measure themselves against it. This breeds something poisonous in the community of faith. It breeds comparison and competition in giving, in serving, and in spirituality itself. Galatians 6:4 says, "Each one should test their own actions. Then they can take pride in themselves alone, without comparing themselves to someone else." When you broadcast your generosity, you unknowingly turn the act of love into a scoreboard. Others begin to feel small. Some feel pressured to match you. Others quietly resent you. And what was meant to build the kingdom begins to fracture it. The early church gave so freely and so secretly that no one kept count of who gave what. But the moment giving becomes public, it becomes a performance. And performance always creates an audience of judges. But danger, number 5. You make yourself vulnerable to the spirit of self-deception. This one is dangerous because it works from the inside out. When you constantly tell others about your good deeds, you begin to believe your own highlight reel. You start to measure your spiritual health by the stories you tell rather than the heart God sees, and slowly you build an identity on a foundation of appearances. Jesus addressed this with the Pharisees in Matthew 23:27. "You are like whitewashed tombs, which look beautiful on the outside, but on the inside are full of dead men's bones." The Pharisees were not lazy people. They fasted, they gave, they prayed, and they tithed down to the smallest herb in their garden. The problem was never their deeds. The problem was that their deeds were aimed at an audience. And over time, the applause convinced them they were righteous, when in reality, they were spiritually empty on the inside. This is the great deception of public goodness. You can fool everyone watching, and worst of all, you can eventually fool yourself. But you can never fool the one who sees in secret. Danger number 6. You give the enemy ammunition against you. The devil is a strategist, and he studies your patterns. When you build a reputation on telling others how good you are, you have handed the enemy a target the size of a mountain, because now every single mistake you make is amplified. Every fall is louder. Every failure becomes a scandal. You have built a platform of your own righteousness, and the enemy waits patiently for the moment to pull it out from under you. Proverbs 16:18 returns to us here. The higher you raise yourself in the eyes of others, the harder and more public your fall becomes. The person who quietly does good has nothing to protect, but the person who has spent years advertising their goodness now lives in fear of exposure. They are trapped, constantly maintaining an image, instead of simply walking with God. And the enemy loves nothing more than a believer who is more concerned with their reputation than their relationship with the Father. Because a person obsessed with looking holy has very little energy left to actually be holy. Danger number 7. You forfeit the intimacy of a secret with God. And here is the one almost no one sees coming. The most beautiful reward of a hidden good deed is not just the crown you receive in heaven one day. It is the secret you get to share with God right now. There is a holy intimacy that exists between you and the Father when you do something good that no one else will ever know about. Listen to how Jesus finishes his teaching in Matthew chapter 6, verses 3 and 4. "But when you give to the needy, do not let your left hand know what your right hand is doing, so that your giving may be in secret. Then your Father, who sees what is done in secret, will reward you." Your Father who sees in secret. Do you understand what that means? When you do good quietly, you and God share something that belongs only to the two of you. It becomes a private treasure between a child and a father. It is a sacred thing the world cannot touch and the enemy cannot steal. But the moment you tell others, you break that intimacy. You invite the crowd into a room that was meant for just you and God. And the deepest tragedy is not just the lost reward, it is the lost closeness. Because every secret good deed is a whisper between you and heaven, and every announced good deed is a conversation you chose to have with the world instead. I want to say something important before we close. This message is not meant to make you afraid to ever speak about anything good in your life. There are moments when sharing what God has done through you encourages others and brings glory to Him, not to you. The difference is the direction of the glory. When you share a deed and the praise goes to you, you have taken your reward. When you share a testimony and the praise goes to God, you have multiplied His kingdom. The question is never simply, should I speak about this? The question is, who am I hoping will be glorified when I do? So from this day forward, I want to invite you to discover the hidden joy of secret obedience. Do something good this week that no one will ever know about. Help someone and tell no one. Give something and keep it between you and God. And watch what happens in your spirit. You will feel a peace you have not felt in a long time, because for the first time, you will be doing good for an audience of one. And that one sees everything, rewards everything, and treasures every secret you keep with him. Your good deeds are like seeds, and seeds do not grow when they are dug up and shown to everyone. They grow buried, hidden in the dark, watered by the God who sees what no one else can see. So bury your good deeds in secret, and let your Father bring the harvest in His perfect time. If this message has opened your eyes today, I want you to do one thing right now. Write in the comments, "Lord, let my good deeds be seen by you alone." That is a declaration of pure-hearted faith, and God honors it. And if you know someone who needs to hear this message, someone who has been giving away their reward without even realizing it, share this video with them today. It could protect a treasure they did not even know they were losing. Do not forget to subscribe so we can keep growing together in biblical wisdom every single day. God bless you deeply, my brother, my sister.